Welcome to the Analysis Corner. Today, we'll be taking a look at the Grimm brothers' The Queen Bee. As a reminder, this review and the conclusions that I draw are not to be taken as source or research material. This is only meant to be a fun mental exercise. I'm going to give a summary of the story, but if you want to hear the full version, here's a link to the video. The story begins with a description of three princes, the two oldest of whom leave the kingdom to find adventures. They are said to be clever, but lose their way in the wickedness of the world. The youngest brother, named Simpleton, is mocked for being simple and unable to survive the complex and dissolute ways of the world. He ends up searching for and finding his older brothers, and the three journey together. As they do so, they encounter an anthill. The older brothers want to set fire to it in order to see the ants carrying out their eggs and running in terror. They later find a lake filled with ducks. The older brothers want to kill and roast a few of them. Finally, they find a beehive that the older brothers want to destroy in order to get to the honey. In all three instances, Simpleton firmly says, "Leave the creatures in peace," and stops his brothers from causing pain and destruction simply for their pleasure. Towards the end of their journey, the brothers find an enchanted castle with only a little gray man in residence. He provides the brothers with food and shelter for the night. The next day, he explains that the castle is under an enchantment, and whoever breaks the spell will marry the youngest of three princesses and inherit the kingdom. 3 challenges must be completed in order to accomplish this. The oldest brother takes on the first challenge, which is to collect the princess's pearls scattered in the forest. There are 1,000 of them, and he must get them before sundown or be turned into stone. He fails and becomes a stone figure. The second oldest brother tries his luck, but is not successful either. Simpleton is the last to take on the challenge and finds the task impossible. However, as he's about to give in to despair, the ants he had saved appear and help him find all of the pearls in time. With this, he is allowed to take on the second challenge, which is to get the key to the princess's bedchamber from the bottom of the lake. Upon reaching its shores, the ducks, in gratitude for stopping his brothers from hunting them, dive to the bottom and bring the key to him. The final challenge is for Simpleton to find the youngest princess among the 3 sisters, all of whom are asleep under the enchantment. They all look similar. The only way to tell them apart is by the sweetmeats that they ate before falling asleep. The eldest ate some sugar. The next ate a little syrup, and the youngest had a spoonful of honey. The queen bee, happy to have her hive spared by Simpleton's actions, tasted the lips of each princess and stayed on the one who had eaten the honey. Having completed the 3 challenges, Simpleton breaks the spell of the castle, restores all of its inhabitants, including those turned into stone, marries the youngest princess, and becomes the ruler of the kingdom. The Queen Bee was published by the Grimm brothers in December 1812. It is seemingly a simple tale about the adventures of 3 princes who travel the world and end up at an enchanted castle trying to win the kingdom by breaking the spell cast over its inhabitants. There is, however, a very important lesson among the supernatural interactions and occurrences throughout the story. The Queen Bee has been said to be a retelling of the grateful animals trope, in which the hero completes seemingly impossible tasks with the help of animals that he spared or rescued along his travels. This is true, as can be seen in the way the ants, the ducks, and the bees help the youngest brother gather all the pearls, collect the key from the bottom of the lake, and identify the youngest princess through the honey she ate. But this fairy tale has details that add some more depth into the idea that kindness will be returned to you later down the line. When the story begins, we are introduced to 3 princes, 2 of whom are considered clever but fall into the wild and disorderly ways of living. They literally get lost out in the world, living without discipline. This results in the youngest brother having to go out in search of them. The 2 older brothers mock him, believing that he lives up to his name of simpleton and saying that he would not survive out in the world with his simple ways. However, as the 3 end up traveling the world together, Simpleton is the one who shows direction and authority over his brothers. He stops them from burning an anthill for entertainment purposes. He keeps them from killing and eating the ducks, and he prevents them from suffocating a beehive for honey. While it can be argued that the only truly cruel act the older brothers wanted to commit was burning the anthill, as eating duck and the honey can be considered a need, the brothers' track record seems to show that everything they wanted to do to the helpless animals was fueled more for their own pleasure and entertainment than any form of real necessity or survival. Simpleton puts a stop to all of it, firmly saying, "Leave the creatures in peace." As the story goes on, the older brothers are shown to be guided more by their base instincts, while Simpleton seems to have a deeper connection with nature. His brothers mocked him, saying he would not make it in the world with his simple ways, but they were thinking of Simpleton's disconnect from the wicked ways of the world. However, based on his attitude and ability to navigate and survive, he was smarter and had a stronger inner character than they realized. With this in mind, a more complete moral of the queen bee is not simply showing kindness to the creatures around you with the idea that this kindness will one day be returned. It is more like remembering to maintain a true moral compass to guide your actions and staying true to them. Simpleton guided his brothers and prevented the needless suffering of the animals with his strength and conviction. The second part to the lesson is not to perform acts of kindness with the expectation of getting it paid back. Simpleton stopped his brothers simply because he did not want them to hurt the little creatures. Even while going through the trials, Simpleton didn't ask for help. The ants, ducks, and bees all came to him of their own accord and helped him break a powerful enchantment and win a kingdom. The queen bee is a reminder to be strong, to not be afraid to take action and stand by your convictions, and never forget to show kindness to those who are below or more helpless than you, because they will be the ones who can lift you up to reach higher heights. I hope you enjoyed this review of the Grimm brothers' The Queen Bee as much as I did. Until next time, I am, as always, your friendly resident ghost in the library.